Introducing the Open Palm Podcast with host Jerome Shaw, available today on your favorite podcast platforms. The Open Palm Podcast is a positive, uplifting, motivational, and inspirational podcast. The host brings his insight and philosophy, and you can't help but gravitate towards his smile, his words, and his wisdom. Again, the podcast he hosts is titled The Open Palm Podcast. It's about inspirational messages, motivating themes, and thought-provoking ideas and topics. He'll also help you become more aware and in harmony with your own life, giving you a better understanding of your place in the world and using your skills accordingly, greeting the world with an open palm instead of a closed fist. You can find the show today on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. You can also connect with the host on Instagram at Jerome Shaw. That's JROMESHAW on Instagram. Jerome Shaw with the Open Palm Podcast. Motivation, meditation, mentality. Go listen, download, and subscribe today.
When one finds love, as if nothing could compare, as if no limits would suffice, in a state subjective to fiction of mind, in the sense that no boundaries welcome the overflow of feelings, as if to say, love reflects perfection, like raindrops of ecstasy, fulfilling fantasy after fantasy. Lust and affection grow stronger, no denying the mutual feelings, but yet satisfied to a certain extent that anticipates further thought. When one finds heartbreak, as if the world is at end, as if love can only hurt, emotions erupting without the positive balance, in a sense that no one could possibly understand, befriending the loneliness of life, stranded in a loophole of the real and fake, and yet still pursuing the mystery of love, humiliation and regret rushing with anger and hurt, as life itself seems to fade, until one finds another love. This was a poem called When One Finds Love that I wrote back in December 11th, 2005, if you can believe it. Years and years and years ago. 2005, wow. The thoughts that were going in my head around that time. It's interesting how they say history can often repeat itself, and how we seem to go through circumstances again and again as if our soul has come here to learn a lesson. And if we do not learn the lesson, we are almost doomed to repeat the cycle. But that is just one perspective. Have you ever experienced true heartbreak? Either from your hand or someone else's. Heartbreak, so painful, so hurtful, that it felt like you were damaged goods. It felt as though anyone who came into your field of view in the future was in for a rude awakening or a tough battle ahead. As the wall of your heart was further blocked, tempered. What was once tampered with is now tempered steel, tight, shut like a trap. And it could have been from your own doing. They say that hurt people hurt people. Could it be that there were instances you could have found true love, but you found heartbreak in its place because of a previous loss? Could it be that responsibility, which is the response to the ability The choice was always yours, always within your grasp. And yet, you went another way. Or maybe the one you loved hurt you in a way that you felt you could never forgive. And so it hardened you to any future love. How do you deal with your heartbreak? How do you deal with the hurt, the pain, the anguish, the sorrow, the sadness, and the loneliness? They say that whenever you have a relationship of a high magnitude, a really, really tough relationship to get over, they say it's the length of the relationship halved. However long you were with that person, divide it by 2, and that's about how long it will take to get over it. Now, maybe some people are better than others when it comes to dealing with grief or sadness or depression. But heartbreak, these emotions of love, the times, the moments that we cherished are locked in our bodies. It becomes so much a part of you when you meld with another human being that when the two of you are apart, it almost feels like your world is at end. It almost feels like you are dying because it is the death of the life you knew. The life you were so comfortable with, so at peace, or so familiar. It is the death of what you thought might have been forever, to make way for the rest of your life. How to deal with heartbreak, one day at a time. Thank you for listening, my friend. This has been Jerome Shaw on TOP, the Open Palm Podcast, here in San Antonio, Texas. I trust you received a message that if you have dealt with this, that maybe, just maybe, it would bring you a sense of calm, a sense of peace to know that this too shall pass. You won't feel like this forever. One day at a time, my friend. Things always look better when the sun rises. But today will be the first day of the rest of your life. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. If this is your first time receiving this podcast, subscribe for more messages like this. And if you'd like to support, head on over to anchor.fm/jshaw. Clicking the support button is much appreciated. Big shout out, love, and thank you to all the wonderful supporters who donate to the podcast, making it possible for episodes like this. Have a blessed day or night, wherever you are. Take care, my friend.